Welcome to 5 and 5 from the One Stop Co-op Shop, where we discuss 5 key elements of a game in about 5 minutes. I'm Michael Kelly, and today we're looking at Zombicide Invader from CMON. No disclaimer needed, Peter from the podcast let me borrow his copy of the game. I have a fairly mixed history with the Zombicide franchise. I did not enjoy the original much at all, but Black Plague I thought made a lot of improvements. So does Zombicide Invader continue that upward trend? Let's find out and get to the list. My number 5 is a mix that tends to lean pro, and that's the leveling in the game. Like in every version of Zombicide, as your characters defeat zombies and complete objectives, they'll move into different colors which will both level them up but also make the zombies spawn more frequently. On the positive side, sliding a little marker up as you defeat hordes of zombies is just a lot of fun. And unlocking new levels, giving your characters choices of how to become stronger and more amazing is always cool. Also, the tactical puzzle of trying to keep your leveling in sync, since the monsters only care about the most leveled character, can be pretty engaging. But on the negative side, the leveling isn't as varied as it seems, because the second level for everyone is an extra action, and in a lot of the scenarios I played, that's as far as we ever got, so we didn't see any of the great differentiation of the characters. Also, some groups aren't going to enjoy trying to balance out your leveling. When you want to blow away a bunch of zombies, it's not fun to say, let somebody else do it because you're too far ahead. My number 4 is also a mix, again relating to the characters, and that's the requirement to have 6 characters in play in every game. Now this one definitely leans con, but the one main positive here is that it does increase the tactical depth and the cooperation you can have between characters to always have a bunch of people in your squad. Getting weapons to each other, pulling zombies off each other, making noise to distract them, you couldn't have that if you only had, 2 or 3 characters running around. But the big negative is how limiting this is at many player counts. 2 or 3 players is the sweet spot because you don't have too many or too few characters. But solo feels like a bit of a bear trying to remember which of the 6 people you've actually used for that turn. 4 and 5 player get into the awkwardness of some of you having 2 characters and some of you only having 1. And 6 player I wouldn't recommend because you just don't do enough on a single character's turn, so you're not really going to have a lot of fun. The downtime will seem really high. And we're staying somewhat negative here because my number 3 is a full-on con, and that's the variety in the base game, which is the main thing I've played. The amount of content you get in the core game without buying any expansions is a little troubling. First, you only have 6 characters, and as I already noted, you have to use all 6 of them, so that means you'll see the exact same characters in every game you play. You also have a really small selection of items and weapons, and even the really cool prototype weapons are basically just minor upgrades of weapons you already see, so it limits it even more. But the biggest problem with variety isn't all of that. It's the missions, because despite a couple of them having a kind of interesting, unique rule, they tend to feel really samey really quickly. I wish they had played around with more unique objectives, more crunchy rules. They might have more of those in the expansion, but again, in the core box, you're not going to get too much unique here. But we finally get to a full-on pro with my number 2, and that's the actions and the tactical positioning in the game. They have a lot of cool new things going on in this version of Zombicide. Let's look through a few. First, each mission has a turret and a robot that can be remote controlled, which really opens up the tactical options and can lead zombies astray. Second, characters can open and close doors for free on their turns, setting up bottlenecks and slowing down zombies. And finally, the usual line of sight rules and noise rules let you do clever plays to pull zombies off of other characters, run them around the map, just do a lot of cool, clever things. And we're going to end with another pro, 2 in a row, and that's the accessibility and fun of the game. When you get right down to it, combat in Zombicide is a blast. You have a bunch of actions on your turn, very powerful weapons, generally weak enemies, so you can mow down 4, 5, 10, 20 zombies in one turn, and it is a blast. But on top of that, the game is quick to set up and really easy to teach. I played it with my 7-year-old, with him controlling 3 characters all by himself, and he caught on right away and was having a hugely good time. Overall, Zombicide Invader is by far my favorite entry in the series. I think they've made a ton of improvements and cool additions that really upgrade the game. But that doesn't mean it's for everyone. If you don't like a lot of dice chucking, if you don't like moving lots of miniatures around because man, those zombies pile up, and if you don't like buying expansions because again, the core set just doesn't really have enough, then this might not be a game for you. But if you like fun, accessible, tactical miniatures play with a lot of excitement built in, then Zombicide Invader could be a hit. But a final note for me about Zombicide Invader is that while it's great, I think Cthulhu Death May Die from the same company coming out at nearly the same time is a lot better in almost every way. I do think Zombicide Invader is a bit more accessible, but besides that, the variety in Cthulhu Death May Die is so much better. So it's a tough one, because when it comes down to Cthulhu Death May Die or Zombicide Invader, I would say unless you're going to play it like me with your kids, Death May Die is going to win every time. Good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.